What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today I want to talk about a lot of different stuff, and it's not all strictly Destiny related. I guess it does have a connection, but it's tenuous at best. But before we get going, I do want to talk about something that is Destiny related, and that is the gameplay you're watching now. This is the first match of the Planet Destiny podcast versus Dream Team. I guess you could call it Podcast Showdown, even though the Dream Team isn't really a podcast. But, you know, essentially it's the continuation of that series. This was a ton of fun. We did it a little differently this time. Instead of doing just straight up sweat rules where you can't use any exotic armor, certain weapons are banned, we did a couple of games of that mixed in with a few games that had kind of just for fun, just silly rules. The first one was No Land Beyond only. The second one was sidearms only. And the final one was sword hilts only. And I gotta say, that is the one that the Dream Team showed their stuff on. Planet Destiny clearly had no experience with sword hilts only and just got crushed. And unfortunately for us, it was the final game of the match. So the Dream Team finally took down Planet Destiny. We had a good run there. Hashtag undefeated no more. Although, technically, the Dream Team isn't necessarily a podcast. So, well, we'll see in the future. There are going to be more of those coming. This one was super fun. I got to say, this was the first time I've gotten to meet Robbie V, Blue Westlow, Mr. Fruit, and they were really fantastic guys. I had a blast talking to them, playing with them. Really a good time. And I can't wait. I believe they're making a Dream Team video out of this match, and that should be really fun, too. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of laughs in there. I can't wait to see it. I gotta say, though, moving forward in the future, I'm really having fun with this series of events that the Planet Destiny podcast and basically playing other groups inside Destiny. I know that there's other people who have expressed interest in doing this with us, and I think that we're actually forming quite a long list of kind of potential opponents. And all together, it's been a really enjoyable experience. We all know that the community centered around Destiny is just filled with awesome people. And, you know, this has been a really great way for me to meet them and also to, you know, kind of see what their chops are. I have found out, though, that I definitely want to get better at the Crucible. I need to start practicing more in the Crucible. I tend to play probably 2 to 3 hours of Crucible per week, if that, unless it's like an Iron Banner week where I'll put the grind in for a little bit longer. But now that there's really nothing left in Trials of Osiris as far as rewards go that's really catching my eye that I haven't already gotten before, I'm not even playing that much Trials of Osiris right now. So this is kind of the competitive version of Destiny for me. And my skills are falling off. I do not have natural talent at PvP. I have to practice to be good, and I definitely need to be practicing more if I'm going to compete at a high level in this series, because I think as it goes, people are going to be taking this one more and more seriously as it goes along. And I think that I definitely want to be able to support my side of the team. I also want to talk about the Xbox a little bit in this video. Now, I am an Xbox gamer. I have a PlayStation 4. I have an Xbox. I use them both. I grew up with an Xbox. I enjoyed Halo tremendously. Gears of War. That first Xbox, when the Xbox was head-to-head with the PlayStation 2, back in those days, I actually really preferred playing on my Xbox. It was just kind of my preferred platform for that generation. And I can say, honestly, it was the same with the PS3 and the Xbox 360 platforms. This time around, it's really switched for me. The PS4 has become my platform of choice. And it's not really because of the graphical prowess of the machine over the Xbox One. I don't really see that much of a difference, frankly. You have to show me screenshots side by side for me to even pick out differences. Like, for instance, if I'm playing Destiny and I switch between the two, I cannot graphically see the difference. The controller, I have a big preference. I really like the PlayStation 4 controller, and that's really why I've kind of gravitated more toward the PlayStation 4 this generation. But in the past, that hasn't been the same. The reason I'm saying all this is because I am not just a Sony fanboy, right? I've played Xbox a lot in the past. I really enjoy my Xbox One. But I will say this. The way Microsoft's been talking lately has me very, very worried about the future of the Xbox One system. This is a fairly new system. It's not that old. And from console generations, from console cycles, you do expect to get somewhere around, let's say, 5 to 7 years. Now, I think with the original Xbox, we got like 4 to 5 years. It was a shortened generation. Microsoft really saw that, they were onto something, but they didn't quite get it right the first time around, and they really upped their game with the 360. I think that they are looking at a shortened generation here for the Xbox One as well. They're clearly getting their asses kicked sales-wise by Sony, and I don't think they're happy with it. And some of the programs that they've talked about in the recent past, in the last month or so, about bringing Xbox One games to the PC, having a Microsoft store where you buy video games similar to Steam, but when you buy a game there, it'll work on, let's say, your Xbox One, your PC, your Windows Phone. Like, some of these things are actually really appealing, but they're also talking about an upgradable console, something that doesn't necessarily just get stuck in time for an entire console generation. Now, in the past, that's exactly what's happened. There are some companies that have tried to change this. Sega, in the Sega Genesis generation, clearly was trying to make a change here. They introduced the Sega CD, which was an attachment, an add-on for the Sega Genesis. They announced the Sega 32X, again, an attachment, an add-on for the Sega CD. And there were even some games that required both a Sega CD and a 32X. Now, one of the things we can learn from that experiment is that it did not fucking work at all. And I think that if Microsoft were to look at history, they would know that this is an extremely poor idea. It's not so much the fact that console gamers don't want an upgradable console. It's the fact that developers have to put in so much time and energy developing for something that may have a very, very small fan base or install base. So, for instance, let's say Xbox 2, right? Like, let's say that they shortened the generation for Xbox One. They released the Xbox 2, and it's very upgradable. You can get at the memory. You can get at the graphics card. You can get at the processor. The big stuff that really, really impacts performance on a console. If a user could get at all that stuff, and then every year or every 2 years, Microsoft were to release some upgrade for that console, that would be really enticing to me as an adult gamer that has money. But for most people, it'd be really confusing and really kind of like, when do I actually buy into this platform at all? If a developer were to develop for the Xbox One, which Xbox One are they developing for? Are they developing more for a PC that just can have a wide variety of bits and pieces? Currently, a lot of games are being developed for PC, and that's exactly how it works. We have a base game. You can bump up the graphical quality, the physics quality, if you have a beefier PC. Is that the road they're going to go through with Xbox One? That increases development costs. When you have a game that's coming out on a fixed piece of hardware like a PS4 or like an Xbox One, you know exactly what your target is. With a PC, you don't know what that target is. It's a really big window which it could be at. And if a developer says, well, it's going to cost me a little bit more money to develop for an upgraded Xbox One. Maybe somebody bought the hardware upgrade, the memory upgrade. Am I going to spend my time and dollars developing or upgrading my game to take advantage of that? I don't know, man. It seems like it's got a really small install base. So now, if you also can upgrade the memory, the graphics card, the processor, now you're splitting that install base among all these different setups that could potentially be. And that's really concerning from a developer's point of view. From a consumer's point of view, what if I get an Xbox One in 2 years? Is it going to be completely out of date because I don't keep upgrading it like a PC? Is that going to be something I'm going to have to worry about? Is constantly, like, once every 2 years, spending $100, $200, maybe even $300 on the high-end graphics card for my Xbox One? That's why I don't play PC games, because I don't really like dealing with that. So it's a little bit of a scary future from Xbox right now. I'm wondering if they're going to announce some new hardware this year. Like, it seems so quick and so early to do something like that. But man, the way that Microsoft is talking, it does not look good for the future of our current Xbox Ones. Wondering what you guys think about that. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys later.